Hi, I'm Liz with Liz's Crafts, and today I'm going to show you how I made this Resin Crete garland with the round and square beads. So I'm using the Resin Crete that I got off of Amazon, and for this particular project, I'm going to use 50 grams of the Resin Crete powder, and you do measure it in grams, and it's a ratio of 100 to 30. So for 50 grams of the Resin Crete powder, you would use 15 grams of water. So you can see on the scales there, I got that at 50. And then I'm going to do a 15 grams of water. There's 14. And look, that just that tiny bit went to 18. And now it's at 16, and that's what I'm going to go with, because when you add acrylic paint to this, you usually need to add a little bit more water. And it does say that on the package. And it doesn't have any smell to it or anything like that. Easy cleanup. You just clean it up with water. I do like the eco-friendliness of it. Eco-friendliness. You know, it's not like epoxy or resin where, you know, you have to wear gloves and mask and all that kind of stuff. So I stir it up pretty good, and then I'm going to use this, well, I don't really remember the color of this, but it's a dark red acrylic paint. And your reds are never going to be red in the Resin Crete, because the Resin Crete is white. So it's just like mixing the red with a white paint. So you get a pinkish color out of it. And there I am spritzing a little bit more water in that, because you need it to be about the consistency of milk. Just regular milk. Very thin. And there's the little bead molds that I borrowed from my neighbor. Thank you, Lonnie. I appreciate that. So I'm just going to use this little squirter thing here. Wow. I just can't ever think of words, and it makes me feel so stupid. Dropper. And it's one that came with actually my UV resin. So I just suck it up in the dropper and then put it down in these round bead molds. So there's 6 little bead molds there. And I just fill them up with the dropper. And this dropper is plastic. And then when you get done with it, you just wash it out with water. You know, suck the water up in it and then let it out, and just keep doing it until the Resin Crete is all gone from it. And it cleans up very well. I have to say, I really enjoyed making the beads. I had never seen like bead molds. And when I saw these in his thing and I asked him what they were, we figured it out, and I was like, oh yeah. Can I borrow this one? Because I really want to make some beads. So the mold I'm filling up right now makes the round beads, and then that other mold there makes square beads. And then you want to get the bubbles out, and you just kind of do your molds up and down, you know, kind of bounce them a little bit just to get bubbles out, just like that. like you see me do right there. It helps get bubbles out. And then the excess, I'm just going to wipe with my finger there and stick it back in the little dish. And I do not have to use the dropper for the square beads because it's all the way open, where the round ones, you know, they were pretty much enclosed quite a bit. It was kind of hard to get to. And I thought I would have a lot of open space if I didn't use the dropper. And by using 50 grams of the Resin Crete and the 15 grams of water, it was perfect for these two molds. I mean, perfect. I didn't have any really left over at all. And you'll have to let me know in the comments, have you ever tried Resin Crete? And if you have, what's your experience with it? Now, this is my 4th video with using Resin Crete. I had bought a bag of it on Amazon for $15.99, which I thought was pretty good. I still got about, I don't know, maybe an eighth of it left or something like that. So I'm just going to kind of bounce this one a little bit, get bubbles out of it, wipe off the edges. And then I have a teeny bit left in there, and I'm just going to top off my square beads there. Bounce it a little bit more. And I set my timer for 30 minutes. You should be able to demold these in 30 minutes. However, if your piece is thin, you probably want to wait longer. So what I'm doing here is I'm just scratching off the very top of my beads. There's a little post sticking up for the hole, and I just scratched the Resin Crete off of it. So the 30 minutes is up, and I'm going to go ahead and demold these. And look, it's almost like popping a pimple, you know, like pimple popper. It's pretty cool. Look at that, it's so round. Of course, the bottom part of it is a little bit squared off, you know, which was at the top of the mold there that we poured. But that doesn't really take away from it. Look at that, isn't that cool? You just pop that out of there. It's kind of like pimple popper popping those cysts out where they have the whole anyway, maybe you don't want me to talk about it because I can watch that stuff. I know some people can't watch it, but anyway, pretty cool. So I got 6 round beads there. There it is up close. Look at that. Look how perfect that is. They turned out really good. I was very happy with them. Now I'm going to demold my square beads. Again, turned out really good. I'm very happy with them, but you could tell, you know, as they're further down in the mold, it was less dry. than the very top of the bead itself. But the hole's all the way through it. Everything turned out good. Look at that. Look at that. It's so pretty. And I do like the color of it too. And I'm just going to, now this was right after I demolded them, and I'm going to take my little sander there and I'm just going to smooth out the bottom. Now the sides and the top are fine. Just that bottom part there, you know, where you pour it in, the last of it, I'm just cleaning that up a little bit. So I do that for each one of them, and I don't make you watch all that, I don't think. I hope not. But there it is. So the bottom looks pretty good. There's the top. It's very smooth. And now I'm going to go ahead and do the round ones. So they have a little edge around them because of the lip of the mold. And I'm just going to smooth that out so it's a little bit smoother. Blowing the dust off, and there's that one at the bottom, and then there's the top. Okay, so this has been several days of these drying. And when I say several days, I'm talking about probably 3 days or so. And then I'm going to use this glossy collage to put on it to seal it up. So I'm just going to put it on with this paintbrush on all sides, and the top and the bottom. And it does make it a little bit darker too. So once I get all the sides done, then I can do the top. I can hold it there with my pokey tool there. And then I've already done the other square ones. So now I'm going to do the round ones, and I do have them on a piece of floral wire. It's the thick floral wire. And see how it's making it a little bit darker? And this stuff dries pretty quickly. I did get it at Hobby Lobby years and years ago. So I figured I need to use it. It's kind of like Mod Podge. It's for decoupaging and all that. I think it's actually made by Eileen's. Is it Eileen's? The one that make tacky glue or whatever. But I put it on all 6 of the round ones here, and I thought this was the best way to put it on those. And now what I'm going to do is I have this cording that I had gotten from Hobby Lobby a long time ago. And it's a pinkish, like a maroonish color. And I'm going to put some of this 3-in-1 glue on the end of it so it won't fray out, and then I can get it in my beads. It'll make it a little bit, the end a little bit harder so that I can get it through my beads. So I have this bag of smaller beads. I got these from Amazon. And I didn't do anything to them. I just left them the way they were, in their natural state. And I'm not sure what size they are, but I put one of the wood beads on, and then one of my round Resin Crete beads on, and then a wood bead on, and then my square Resin Crete bead. And then a wood one. So I put a wood one in between each one, and I start out with a wood one and I end with a wood one. So just alternating the round Resin Crete beads and the square Resin Crete beads. And it was pretty easy to get my cord through there. I didn't have any problems once I put the glue on the end of it. I mean, there was a couple beads that didn't want to work that I had to work on. But yes, I really enjoyed making my own beads like this. I thought it was pretty fun. I might have to make some more of them before I give the neighbor his mold back. I was having a little bit of trouble with this bead, not sure why. I do put it down and get another bead. And then one of the wood beads wasn't even drilled out all the way. I thought that was a little weird, but I guess it happens. And I think this is the same bead I had tried before. But it worked, so, well, it's going to work. I don't know what was going on with it because the hole was clear. Unless I got some of the gloss down in it, I don't know. I tried not to. Had to clear out that bead a little bit. But I did think that these Resin Crete beads made for a good garland. A nice size. Especially with the smaller wood beads in between. And now this is my last Resin Crete bead. And then I'll put one more wood bead on, and then that's it for the beads. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? And just think, you can make these in almost any color you want. Probably not black or red because of the Resin Crete being white. It'll probably end up gray and pink. Although gray and pink looks good together. So anyway, I'm going to make a tassel, and I wrap it around my 4 fingers 20 times. Now, I do show you how I make both of the tassels. If you're going to make the tassels, I mean, I'm not a real good tassel maker apparently, but don't go by this one. Go by the next one I show you. Because this one I go ahead and cut the ends, and I probably should have waited and did it later. And you'll see that in the second tassel. See, I go ahead and cut these loops, and I think you should wait and do it after. I mean, not that it made a whole lot of difference, but, you know. So what I do is I cut a piece of the cord, and I fold the end of it, and you want your loop facing towards the end of your tassel. And then I'm just going to take the larger end, the longer end of the rope, and I'm going to wrap it around the top end of my tassel 7 times. And then once I have it wrapped, then I put the end of that one in the loop. And I was having kind of a problem finding the loop. There it is. So just put it down in the loop there. And then you pull the top part that you left at the top of the tassel. And I pulled it a little bit too far. I shouldn't have pulled it so much, but I think I fixed it. And then what I do is I take the 2 ends of the tassel and I tie it onto the end of the rope on the garland. And then I take the rope at the end of the garland and tie it to the rope at the end of the tassel, so that all the ends of the ropes have been tied. Otherwise, okay, this is before I tied the rope of the tassel on here. So watch this. See that? Oh my gosh, it almost unstrung all of my beads. And so I pull that back out, and then I use that rope along with the rope of the tassel, and I tie it in a knot. Because otherwise, it's going to fall apart. You're going to lose everything. All your beads are going to fall off. And now what I'm going to do is put a little bit of my 3-in-1 glue on the end of my knot so that it doesn't unravel. And then I'm going to trim up my tassel a little bit. And then I'm going to trim up that piece of rope. And that side is done, and now we're going to make another tassel. Now, if you want to go by what I do to make the tassel, then follow this one. Again, I wrap it around my 4 fingers 20 times. And you have the end of your rope towards the bottom of your hand. You know, facing down the table. That's where you want the 2 ends to face down. Once I got that wrapped 20 times, I cut it off. And then I cut another piece off. And then I tie it on the very top in a knot. Once I do that, then I tie it to the string on the garland. And then I take the string, let's see, the string from the garland and tie a knot in it with one of the strings that I just tied a knot in. Then I put a little bit of glue on the knot. And now I'm going to take another piece of the cord, and I'm going to tie the top of the tassel. So you want to fold the end, and then you put your loop facing down. And then you want to take your long piece and you want to wrap it around the top of your tassel 7 times. Six, 7, 8, however many times you want, really. I like to 7. Once you get it wrapped, then you just put the end through the loop. And then the top end, you pull it and it'll take your loop and put it up under your wraps. And then you just cut that piece off. And now you can cut your loops at the bottom. And then you can trim it up. And then you're done. Your tassel is done. Look at how pretty that is. I love those beads. And they're really not too heavy. And then I do cut my cord off at the top there. Okay, now it's done. It's completely done. So I'm going to back my camera up so you can see the whole thing all at once. And you'll have to let me know what you think about it. Is this something you think you might try? I mean, I like playing around with Resin Crete, I have to say. And I thought, well, you know, if I'm going to play around with it, I might as well make a video. You guys will have to let me know if you like Resin Crete videos or if you don't like them. Because I can not film it if you don't like it. But anyway, there's my garland. And again, I'm Liz with Liz's Crafts. And if you like what you see, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please feel free to do so. And if you have, thank you very much. And I want to thank each and every one of you for watching my video.